Hey, howdy everyone, Tony here. I hope you're doing well. Today I will be utilizing the TDU method of analysis to look for potential setups in the charts. Let's see what we can find. First, if you want to learn more about the TDU method, check out the site. If this video is helpful or you learned something new, please like and subscribe to stay updated with my analysis. Now let's dive into it. Alright, so today we're looking at Bitcoin on the daily. In my last video, I was looking over these different counts that we could be dealing with here. Right now we're in a range, so it's just a matter of how we're going to get through this range. So if I pull a parallel channel up from the top down to this first pivot over here, you can see we're kind of finding support on the median line right there. But any of these pivots, look pretty good to kind of keep an eye on as far as looking for reactions off of it. When it comes to Elliott Wave, there's only a couple ways we can really deal with the range. Of course, it doesn't have to adhere to anything Elliott Wave, and we can put labels wherever we want, but at the end of the day, we're looking for an exit out of this range in some form or fashion. The daily time frame here is that I think either this is going to be some kind of sideways, or this is going to be a diagonal with some further down and a break of 56,500. Now, if this is some kind of sideways, this low could be at risk depending on what this is. If you think this is a WXY up here, then that cuts some of the possibilities down to what it could actually be. It can't be a sideways correction at this point. Sideways corrections can only be simple patterns. This wouldn't be considered a simple pattern. We would need to fish out just ABC, normal zigzag. I don't really see that at the moment. I could be wrong, but for now I'm seeing a WXY, which cuts down what this would be. So if this is a WXY, then there's only really two sideways corrections that we can be dealing with. One of them is a flat, which would potentially put this low at risk. We haven't breached up beyond this high at 73,835 yet. So there is a possibility that this could still be going up for a potential B wave of some kind of expanding or running correction. But for right now, we have to wait to see if this level here at 65.5 holds. Right now, there is still a possibility that we could be putting in some kind of sideways for another move up. And until this level breaks, that's still in the cards. And that's what I was looking for last week too, was how this section here was going to play out over the weekend. We'll get into that when we dive deeper down. But for now, sideways scenario, if we have a triangle going, then 56.5 is the low. This would be A, B, and we're just going to be kind of tightening up here for a potential move up to sweep the highs. And then we'd have to consider which degree we think we're at based on how this finishes out. If this is some kind of flat, we're going to be looking for an impulse down or a motive wave, which could be a diagonal as well. So within flats, we are looking for a sweep of the low usually, especially since we don't have a running flat here or an expanded flat. We haven't breached the high yet. We're doing a regular flat. So we could come up here, come down, sweep the low, and then we're looking for a 1-to-1 of the A wave move, which puts us down here at about 55K. All right, so sweep of the low on the flat, and then we get a move up or more potential sideways. So those would be the two kind of longer extended sideways possibilities that I can see at the moment. The more bearish scenario here, if we end up getting an impulsive move down, then I think it's safe to consider that this might be a potential diagonal here that we're dealing with. An impulse down is an impulse. It's a good anchor. So if we do get some kind of impulse down, then I would be looking for a corrective move back up, potentially to some kind of confluence to look for a potential short. Again, it's going to be how it plays out over here, if it does play out. So these would be my more, we're still in the corrective phase kind of counts, is that we're either doing some kind of flat here, and we're looking for either a motive wave down, or we're putting in some kind of triangle, and we're going sideways for a little bit. So for all this to play out, first, I think we really have to break 65.532 to get the ball rolling on those sideways corrective counts. The other count I'm kind of looking at here is that we are putting in some kind of larger degree corrective wave move up. So this would help add to the fact that we are still moving up and out of the range high, which would put us, further up toward the 80K mark where I had us last week. So what are some ideas for that? So this could be the A wave of flat, and then we can also have another zigzag family here, which would put us at another B wave, and we could go nice and sideways like this, which would offset this as the potential A wave. Usually we're looking for a wave B of a flat to have less of a slope than the wave A. So putting in another corrective move up here would be a good way to draw out time and add that as confluence to the potential that we're dealing with some kind of flat here. The other thing that goes with this as well too is that it's possible that the correction here is complete at 65.5 and that we're heading up for a final motive wave to complete the impulse at the lesser degree before putting in the larger degree wave 4, which would have us doing even more sideways. So I hope you like sideways. If you think this is the wave 5 of a 3 or something and we have a huge wave 4 coming, which could be a nice range to kind of deal with and play inside of, but we'll have to see how that plays out when it comes or if it prints. But this would be another confluent area to look here for me because of the fact that, okay, if this is some kind of double zigzag, if this is an ending diagonal, we're going to have a confluent area here to look for a trade to head up with the trend. Potentially it's going to be a little bit on the lazier side if it is a double zigzag, or if it is a diagonal, it's not going to be a swift move. We're going to have to sit in the trade for a little bit, but it will move up. So right now we got the 50. If we come down here correctively at this degree, I think this is a nice area to look for a move down and then a reaction. We have some nice confluence here if this is going to be moving up in that fashion. So again, if we get a nice correction down to this level, we have a couple things going for us here. We have the algo golden zone here. We have some support and resistances back here. This area is played as both, which is nice to have. And then we have a fair value gap here as well. So there's a lot of things here that are confluent for us to consider taking along. So down here on the 4 hour, what I'm really looking for is this area of confluence here to be reached. We have several counts that are kind of coming into this area that could play out and bounce up to break the range high at least, or just for a sweep even. We have a lot of support resistances. We have algos. We have a fair value gap. We have everything kind of lining up in this area. So I really want to see this move complete down in here. Just some examples of what the counts I'm looking at are. If this is going to move up, or if this is some kind of motive wave or corrective wave that's going to move up, this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we're heading up to the moon to higher highs. There's kind of a lot that can be done here with this potential impulse correction impulse pattern. And this does look pretty corrective to me at the moment, coming down as it is. So 1, 2, 1, 2 would be the most bullish. We have a 1, so 1, 2. So this could be a 1, 2 of a diagonal. And we're putting that in to head up to higher highs. This also could just be, if this is still some kind of correction, this still could also be an A, ABC, X, and then we get another zigzag up. So those three confluent counts kind of lead to the same spot, and that's down in this area here. Again, we could be done here. Maybe this is done and we're moving out, but I really would like to see us move down, touch this area of confluence for a potential move up. And that's what I'm going to be watching for here on the 4 hour. If we do end up coming down swiftly from here and breaking this, obviously that will kill some of the ideas. But if we do end up breaking this level, invalidating this impulse, I think this would be a nice area to look for a potential long possibility. And if we break down, I'm looking for a correction. I'm looking for this to turn into some kind of resistance for a potential play. This is a larger degree triangle. We'd be looking for a zigzag. So this could be a zigzag family as part of the larger degree triangle. And then we'd have to recount some of this stuff. But if this is a zigzag family in here, that would still kind of keep this low intact here at 56,500 for a potential move up to break the range high. Down here on the 1 hour, right now I think it's still looking good for a double zigzag coming down. It's nice and corrective. It's slow. It's sloppy. So again, this could be some kind of trickery in here and we're putting in some kind of diagonal or whatever. But for now, this looks pretty good as a correction because of the price action that we're dealing with here. So again, another sweep down into this area. I'm going to be looking for a reaction, for an impulsive move out and up, and then looking for some inner correlation here on the smaller degree, or inner confluence here at a smaller degree, algos, fair value gaps, support resistance, supply demand, all that good stuff kind of in here, looking to add to my position for a potential move up past the highs and out of the range. If we do end up sweeping the range, of course, we're looking for just a potential sweep down, and I want to see some force up, a nice move up here. If we get a little wick up, if we break the high and start coming back down, I'm going to be looking for the range high to play as resistance again. So that's kind of looking a couple steps ahead. But for right now, I want this to kind of complete down here either overnight or in the morning. And maybe at the open, we get a nice move up. I guess there is some news here next week to keep an eye on that could push the dollar one way or another. So that's something we're going to kind of have to keep an eye on, and keep an eye on the time that these are published. All right, so that's what I'm looking for on the 1 hour. Right now, it's just a matter of this dropping down into the area of interest for me. This line down here is going to be the official invalidation point of the idea. If we start coming and breaking down this, then obviously we have something a little more deeper going on. And I would lean toward the potential of a flat or a triangle coming in, or it's done and we're going down to hell. All right, so a lot of arrows on here, but that's my ideas. If you have any questions, concern, let me know. Please like and subscribe. Show me some love. Thanks for watching. Trade safe, trade clarity. Later.